Disney Genie is the newest park tech created to help guests build itineraries and cut down on long wait times during their vacation to Disney World. But that's only summarizing everything Disney Genie can do in its simplest form. Turns out there's a lot to figure out when it comes to this new system, and I'm here to help you hack it. Hey everybody, it's AJ for Disney Food Blog. We've had Disney Genie in our lives for a few months now, so I thought it was about time to really look over how to get the most out of this service. Today I'm going to show you how Disney Genie can predict the future, take you on the cheapest Disney behind the scenes tour available, and even help you with those last minute dining plans. Is it easy? No. Should you buy it? Maybe. Let's get started. So what is Disney Genie? Disney Genie is an extension of the My Disney Experience app. When you first open the app, you'll find a tip board and My Genie Day section at the top of your list of choices. These sections will both lead you to this new handy-dandy service. Now, Disney Genie can be broken up into three parts. The first is the complimentary service, the free one, Disney Genie, which will help you create itineraries, lead you to tip boards, provide you with a virtual assistant in case you need a little extra help during your day, show you the dining tools, and be your access to virtual queues when you need them. The second part of the service is Disney Genie Plus, which takes us into the premium side of things. Disney Genie Plus is what replaced the Fast Pass system last year. For $15 per day per person, Disney Genie Plus will allow guests to select a return time for most Disney attractions to enter that attraction's Lightning Lane, which is, of course, the exclusive line. To break things down even further, a Lightning Lane is basically like the old Fast Pass line. When you book a Lightning Lane, you'll be able to enter a much shorter queue than the attraction's main queue. Along with your Disney Genie Plus purchase, you'll also receive additional perks like augmented reality photo lenses and audio experiences, which we're going to talk about a little bit later. Third part, individual attraction selections, which I'll abbreviate down to IAS. We also call them fancy rides because that's what Molly at All Ears calls them. Though you can skip the line at over 40 rides and attractions through just your Disney Genie Plus purchase, there are a few rides, which we've been referring to as those fancy rides, that have their own category. These are the more popular rides of the parks, meaning you'll have to pay per ride to access their Lightning Lanes. These independent prices surge throughout the season, but usually range between $7 and $15 per person per ride. Got that? If you don't, it's totally okay. It's a lot to learn right from the get-go, but we do have printable downloads of this breakdown on our DFB site too, which I'll link in the description below. But now that we got the basics out of the way, let's start hacking into the mainframe, or at least hack your Disney Genie Plus day. All right. Let's talk about those customizable itineraries real quick. Disney Genie can help you create a free itinerary to maximize your park day and navigate the crowds. How does it do it? By taking your wishes and plugging them into a flexible schedule. You just need to tell Disney Genie what your preferences are after you tap into the My Genie Day portion of the My Disney Experience app. Just make sure to link your Disney tickets before you get started so the service will know which parks to help you plan for. You can be specific and tell Genie about your must-do rides, shows, or restaurants, or you can be more generic and tell Genie about a category of interests that you'd like to experience during your day, like, say, visiting the Disney princesses, or joining the Rebel Alliance, or going on a romantic date at a signature restaurant, things like that. Though you're more than welcome to use this itinerary building feature on the day of your visit, you can also plug in your must-dos before your trip, and that's the hack here. That way you have more time to adjust it and study up on it as needed. Plugging in your preferences before your trip will also help you save time in the long run. So let me give you a more specific angle here. Let's say you're planning a Disney day in Magic Kingdom before your big trip. There are 3 different tabs where you'll be able to choose your top choices for attractions, dining, and enchanting extras. Enchanting extras, quote unquote, is where Disney features those things like Magic Kingdom dessert parties, all those more expensive things. If you'd rather give Disney Genie a more broad overview of your preferences, you can select the My Interest section and choose from a list of more widespread categories, including park interests like seasonal offerings, thrill rides, or what's new in the parks, and dining interests like casual, character, or fine dining. Once you feel like you got your bases covered, you can go back to the main Genie page, and would you look at that, there's a whole recommended itinerary for you based on everything you told Genie you loved. Not only will Disney Genie make suggestions based on your pre-chosen preferences to help add more meat to your overall itinerary, but it'll also organize your preferences to show when you should hit them up during the day. And this organization method is by no means randomized. Disney Genie is going to recommend times you should visit certain restaurants and attractions based on when wait times will more than likely be at their lowest, because you know Disney's collecting all of that data. I'll talk more about these forecasted wait times in just a second. It deserves its own section. But what if you want to change your itinerary the day of your visit? There is a reason I called this a flexible schedule. Disney Genie can update your itinerary throughout the day based on what's going on in the parks or what's going on with your group. In fact, Genie will give you real-time suggestions while you're at the park to help fill your day. For example, let's say we were hanging around Magic Kingdom, already a top-notch scenario, right? If we had an IAS reservation for Seven Dwarfs Mine Train at park opening, but we had a Disney Genie Plus reservation for Peter Pan's flight for a couple hours later, Disney Genie will provide you with suggestions for how to fill that middle portion of time between Seven Dwarfs Mine Train and Peter Pan's flight. It may fill you in on a ride or show nearby in Fantasyland with a shorter wait time, or it may suggest a good time to get lunch. You don't have to take Disney Genie's suggestions, but it can be a nice way to guide you around the parks when you're in that now what headspace. That being said, at the end of the day, Disney Genie is just an AI program, so sometimes it's going to miss the mark when it comes to giving you suggestions. For example, Disney Genie could recommend you hit up Big Thunder Mountain at 12:30 when it's currently 11:40-ish in the morning. What are you going to do with all that extra time in between? Although this app was created to help you pace out your day, sometimes it'll give you random gaps where nothing's happening. It could also wind up recommending a show or experience that's currently closed. Our friend Molly over at All Ears kept having the Disney Genie recommend Kite Tales to her even though it was storming and the shows had to be canceled for the time being. Nobody's perfect, and neither is this little guy, so make sure you're not fully relying on Genie to take the reins of your Disney vacation. You still need to do your own research, especially if this is your first trip or you haven't visited the parks in a while. Okay, next hack, check on forecasted wait times. Disney Genie isn't just good at letting you know the wait times for lines in the moment, it can also predict what wait times may look like later in the day. If you're using Disney Genie's itinerary, you'll notice that the rides it adds to your schedule will have a little View Forecasted Wait button below each experience. Disney Genie can map out what the predicted wait time of each experience will be all throughout the day. You can also click on the tip board to see more forecasted wait times for experiences throughout the day too. So let's do another hypothetical scenario. Let's say I'm at Magic Kingdom, because why would I leave already, right? I just got here. And I wanted to ride Haunted Mansion. Only problem is that Haunted Mansion has an unprecedented high wait time of 60 minutes right now. So if we're using Disney Genie to figure out what a better return time for this attraction might be, we can tap on the tip board, scroll down to Haunted Mansion, select its standby button, and be led to a chart forecasting the wait times for the ride. Though it won't show you a specific forecasted time, Disney Genie can still predict how intense or how calm crowd levels will be later on throughout the day. So again, don't completely rely on this, but use it as a guide. Okay, our next hack has come to us through long and arduous experimentation, many days of buying Genie Plus and figuring out how it works in each park. And our hack here is only purchase Disney Genie Plus for the days you really need it. Disney Genie Plus might not be a piggy bank breaking endeavor for one person, but for larger groups, $15 per day per person can really add up, especially if you're planning on visiting all 4 parks. To do the quick math for you here, if a family of 4 were to purchase Disney Genie Plus for 4 different park days, they'd be looking at spending an extra $240 on top of everything else they've got to pay for on a Disney vacation. That's basically another night in a hotel, and that's not even counting the extra money they could potentially spend on individual attraction selection reservations. But here's the thing, you do not have to purchase Disney Genie Plus for every day of your trip. Choose the days you feel you'll need Genie Plus the most, but don't feel obligated to purchase it every single day. Here are the factors you want to consider. Will it be crowded around the time you're visiting? You can learn more about crowd levels during different times of the year on our Best Times to Go to Disney World in 2022 video. Second thing to consider, will this be a once-in-a-lifetime trip, or will you be returning in the not-so-distant future? You might want to invest in Genie Plus for multiple days if you want to spend more time enjoying the parks and less time waiting to ride in lines, especially if you aren't coming back anytime soon and you want to get on as many rides as possible. Next consideration, will you be hitting up the parks more than once during your trip? If you'll be at a park on multiple days, then you may not want to invest in Genie Plus. Instead, you can hit up the rides you didn't get a chance to ride on the second day you visit. And the big one, will I get my money's worth? Okay, this honestly depends on the park. Parks like Epcot and Animal Kingdom have a handful of rides that don't often trigger terribly high wait times. That doesn't mean they're not capable of high wait times, it just means that more often than not, we're not waiting in excruciatingly long lines to experience these attractions. But parks like Magic Kingdom and Hollywood Studios have multiple rides that can produce some pretty steep waits that may be a better Disney Genie Plus investment. So Magic Kingdom will have the most rides you can ride with Genie Plus. Hollywood Studios may have some of the longest lines that you can skip with Genie Plus, but Epcot and Animal Kingdom, most people can probably do those parks if it's not like Christmas Day without buying the extra service. Okay, next Disney Genie hack, and this is a big one. Learn that bizarre 120 minutes rule. Since Disney Genie's release, rules have been introduced, changed, and changed again. So before I discuss this section, just know that this specific rule could change once more in the future. And by the way, Disney doesn't even talk about this. They just randomly change it in the system and they don't tell anybody they're going to change it. So we basically have to keep experimenting to see what's going on. So Disney Genie Plus isn't a system that you purchase and get shorter wait times on every ride whenever you want. If you remember how the Max Pass system used to work in Disneyland, it's more like that. Don't worry, I'll fill you in. When 7 a.m. rolls around, you can reserve your first lightning lane of the day, but you can only reserve one at a time. You can't reserve your next selection until A, you use the first one, B, your return time for your current reservation has passed or you flat out missed it, or C, 120 minutes have passed since you booked your last one, or 120 minutes after park opening, depending on the situation. Got it? Yeah? Is that clear as mud? Great. Let's do a hypothetical scenario to put it into practice. I'm going to stay in Magic Kingdom for this. Hello, Magic Kingdom. How I love you. Let's say I wake up all bright-eyed and bushy-tailed at 7 a.m. to make my first Lightning Lane selection of the day. I decide that I want to book a Lightning Lane for my group at the Jungle Cruise, but must be a really busy day in the parks. My return time isn't until 12 p.m. Does that really mean I can't make another Lightning Lane selection for another 5 hours? No. That's where the 120-minute rule comes into play. You just need to wait 2 hours after the park's official opening to make your next selection. Then you'll be able to book another Lightning Lane pass even though you're still waiting on your Jungle Cruise one. Did you catch what I said? 2 hours after the park's official opening. That means your 2-hour timer doesn't start at 7 a.m. It's going to start at 9 a.m. or whenever the park opens. Tricky stuff. So you'd be able to book your next Lightning Lane at 11 a.m. Okay, while you're processing that, let's talk about a less mind-numbing Disney Genie hack, and that's using the dining tip board. Disney Genie helps you with more than just rides. The free portion of Genie can also guide you through the magical realm of dining in the parks. Now, he doesn't do it as well as we do it, but he can sort of help. Through Disney Genie's dining tip board, you'll be able to make your advanced dining reservations, create mobile orders, and join virtual wait lists when need be. But Genie can also recommend restaurants that are near to other locations on your itinerary. That way, if you're looking for a quick bite to eat before you jump on your next ride, Disney Genie will be able to help lead the way. This service will also let you know when the next mobile order pickup time in the park will be. So if you're needing food ASAP, Disney Genie will let you know about which quick service can provide you with food the soonest. Okay, next hack. Consider rope dropping individual attraction selection rides instead of paying for them. Now remember, these are the fancy rides. These are the most popular rides in Disney World. And paying for each one every time to skip the line can get really expensive. $15 per person per day can get you Lightning Lane access to lots of rides at, say, Disney's Hollywood Studios. But $15 per person can also give you Lightning Lane access for a single ride-through on Rise of the Resistance at the same park. And that's not me saying one purchase is better than the other. You could find that a lot of the Hollywood Studios rides featured on Disney Genie Plus didn't have terrible wait times during your visit, but Rise of the Resistance was pushing 2+ hours. It's all about figuring out where your priorities are, kind of triaging your trip to the park, right? So let's say you really want to ride Rise of the Resistance, but you don't want to pay $15 per person for its Lightning Lane selections. Does that mean you're not going to be able to ride the ride? Not at all, but it does mean you may have to get to the park earlier before the main queue gets out of hand. Try heading to those fancy rides at rope drop, which is right when they open the parks before the lines get filled in by those afternoon crowds. If you're staying at a Disney hotel or a Good Neighbor hotel, you can also hit up the parks 30 minutes before their official opening times with your early theme park entry benefit. If you're thinking about hitting up a fancy ride at Magic Kingdom or Epcot and you're staying at a deluxe resort, you can also use your extended evening benefits too. This means you'll be able to hang around the parks for an hour or two after their official closing times on certain days. So yeah, you're going to need to make sure the extended evening hours are actually happening on the day of your visit. This benefit is only available at Magic Kingdom and Epcot on those select nights. So double check the Disney World calendar on their website beforehand. Make sure you're planning your park days accordingly. Remy's Ratatouille Adventure and Frozen Ever After are one of the list of rides available in the late night perk. Both of Magic Kingdom's fancy rides, Seven Dwarfs Mine Train and Space Mountain, have also been available during the extended evening hours. So, if you're already spending the extra moolah on that deluxe resort, you might as well take advantage of this benefit and hit up those fancy rides at night. Our next hack is to remember and use those AR lenses. It's easier for the other Disney Genie Plus features to get overshadowed by the whole Lightning Lane perk, but Disney Genie Plus does throw in some other added perks with your purchase. For instance, you'll get augmented reality lenses for your phone that attach to your PhotoPass pictures. We've seen 50th anniversary super sparkly lenses, bubbly fun lenses, movie scene lenses, genie lenses. And these could even work on your dog, which is the most important hack of all. Although you can use these lenses anywhere, there are some lenses that will only trigger when you're in a specific Disney park, like the Remy's Ratatouille Adventure lens in Epcot. Select AR lenses will be available for you to use up to 45 days after your purchase, so make sure to use them before you lose them. And AR lenses aren't the only added benefit you'll get with Disney Genie Plus. If you purchase this premium service, you can unlock the audio experiences feature. Now, these audio tales are themed to different areas of the parks. When you click on the little headphones, you'll be able to listen to fun facts about certain attractions and experiences around different park areas. And they're narrated by the very people who helped create the magic that Disney Imagineers. Best part, if you wanted the audio tales feature only and you didn't really want to worry about the Lightning Lane benefits, then only one person in your travel party would have to purchase Disney Genie Plus to access the tour for everyone. The only catch is that you'll only be able to use that one phone with the Disney Genie Plus benefits to listen to the tours with. And then next, let's talk about disability access services. These have been updated thanks to Disney Genie. First off, you can virtually register for disability access services with Genie's video chat feature. That way, you can talk to a cast member and get your DAS all set up at least 30 days before your trip. The virtual cast member can help set you up with return times for 2 experiences per day. Now, this is very similar to how FastPass used to work. You'll pick your 2 preferred attractions subject to availability, then you'll receive a 1-hour return window in which you'll be able to experience these attractions during your visit. You can also make these selections yourself directly on the My Disney Experience app. If you want to learn more about this updated disability access service, you can check out our DFB post covering this new virtual feature, which I'll link down below. All right, hopefully you're feeling a little more comfortable about navigating and hacking this new Disney Genie service. But if you're still looking for more info and advice, you can always check out our many Disney Genie posts on the DFB website. We've done a lot of experimentation. We've tried to answer all the questions we possibly can because I know it's confusing. And you want to make sure that you are not wasting your money on something you're not going to need or use. There is a ton to talk about with this new high-tech tool. Thanks for listening, everyone. Thanks for watching. As always, this is AJ for Disney Food Blog, and we'll see you real soon.